Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. You showing me your pretty face. I heard you're not going to show me your face.
I changed my mind.
Ah, thank you very much. It must be my birthday or something.
Probably.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's great to finally meet you, put the face to name, without these interviews I see on YouTube and on the telly. How you holding up?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah?
Um,
Whereabouts are you right
mhm.
now?
I'm in Lagos right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Surulere, yeah?
Yes, I grew up in Lagos, Surulere till I was about 9 years old.
Yeah. What's the difference between like Lagos, Surulere, like for someone who's never been there before? Like, how would you describe it?
Leg- Lagos is the state. Lagos
Okay.
is the state. So Surulere is like a city in the state, Lagos, in
Yeah.
Lagos state. Yeah, so Surulere is in Lagos.
Also, Surulere is in Lagos.
Surulere is in Lagos, yes.
Oh, okay. Because every time I
Yeah.
listen to that song, it's like Surulere. It made me think like I gotta drive a few k's or a few miles before I actually get to Lagos.
No,
So I had no idea it was so close. Yeah.
it's just one of the most vibrant cities in Lagos. That's why it's so popular, but it's in Lagos.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the others and the other states you mentioned, you said Surulere and Lagos. The other one is that you grew up in?
Um, no, I grew up in Lagos all my life. I've been in Lagos all my life.
Yeah.
I was born and bred in Lagos State, so there's no other place.
Yeah. This is so cool. So Simi is also like a South African name. Like Abo Simi
Ooh.
so Abo Simo, Smi so it's very South African and it means like be patient. It can also mean drought. It could mean wait. It could mean
Wow.
yeah, it has a whole lot of meanings in the Zulu language. On your end, what's your full
Okay.
name?
My full name is Simisola. Simisola means rest in wealth.
Okay.
Yeah. Simisola Ogunleye. Ogunleye is my surname. I think it means something about some god of iron has honor or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's one of those names. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
And what language is it in?
it's in Yoruba. It's in Yoruba.
Okay. Yoruba.
Yeah.
Part of me
Yoruba.
feels like if I was Nigerian, I'd be Yoruba or
Yeah.
Igbo. Yeah. I don't know what's the difference.
I get Igbo vibes from you.
You get Igbo vibes
I
from
get
me?
Igbo vibes from you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Because I was hanging out with a friend of mine the other day. It says, Sabby, if you are Nigerian, I swear you look like you look like a Balangoon. He says, my surname is Balangoon. I was like, I like it. Sabi Balangoon, because Sabi means you understand. You Balangoon.
Oh.
I liked it. And the journey for music, when did this all begin for you, Simi?
Pretty early actually. I think that I started. Well, when I was about 8, 9, I used to sing in a children's church a church,
Yeah.
and I think that was when I really knew that I could sing.
Mm.
Before then, you're just singing with your friends. Nobody really knows what you're doing. But that day in church, I think it was Children's Day. I'd done this little number with some of my friends, and people were like, "Oh, she has a nice voice." So I felt really excited. So I realized I could sing. And I think from then on, I started to take it like seriously because I didn't
Yeah.
really have any music people in my family, no musicians or anything like that in my family. But after that, I started to take it seriously. I joined a group because I started with gospel music. So I
Okay.
joined a group called Outstanding in church when I was a teenager. So that's when I started to write music properly. And I mean, I got signed to a record label in 2000 9
Mhm.
or 10. I don't remember. But I just left school. So I joined a record label, and that record deal was so rubbish, turned out so bad.
Hey.
And then
Yeah.
and then I signed another record in 2014, and glory to God, we're here today.
And what was rubbish about that deal? Like, some of the learnings when you
Everything,
look back. Yeah.
everything. It's just like 4 years of my life that didn't pan out how I thought it would. We didn't release any music. The videos that we shot were like just not even good enough. It was just so weird.
Yeah.
But I'm actually grateful for those times because I feel like that's when I found my sound. That's
Mm.
when I discovered my niche, what I wanted my music to sound like. So I guess the pressure and just the frustration pushed me to be a better artist. So I guess
Yeah.
yeah.
Women are always sharing their frustrations, especially in the early hours of their careers, that it's just hard
Yeah.
to get your break. It's hard to get studio time. There's also not a lot of, female producers in the industry. Like, as someone who's coming through from Nigeria, what are some of the hardships that you went through before you got your break?
Um, I think for me, the first thing was everyone used to say that. Well, let me not say everyone, but most people used to say that you had to sell yourself a certain way for
Yeah.
you to make it in music as a woman. You had to be sexy. You had to play the sexy vibe. You had to just be a certain way. Your image had to be a certain way.
Mm.
And that wasn't my MO. That wasn't my style at all. I'm more chill. I like baggy pants and jeans
Yeah.
and sneakers. I'm like, I don't want to start something that I cannot keep up.
Mm.
I feel like that was the, biggest thing for me. And again, at the time when I came in music, most of the songs that were popping at the time were like major pop songs, upbeat songs, and I came and I'm singing like softer songs. So I guess um trying to prove myself with a different genre also was a challenge. But yeah, it worked out.
Mm. Now, you started with gospel music, as you shared earlier on, and at a
Hmm.
later stage in your life, you decided to play around with different sounds that exist out there. R&B being a sound that I've been hearing a lot of when it comes to semi-released music. When did that transition happen?
I think it was I can't exactly remember what year, probably 2011, 12. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I just realized that I wanted to do like different content. I wanted to be able to sing about other things, love,
Mm.
life in general. The funny thing is, I had tried before, but I couldn't write songs that weren't gospel. They just didn't come to me.
Mm.
So at that time in my life, I started to be. It became easier for me to write songs like that. And I remember that at first I was nervous because before then all I knew was gospel.
Mm.
But at that point, it came easier to me. And I just like, God, I'm gonna do this. Please bless it if it's your will. If you want me to do it, please bless it. And I just let it go. I let myself go, and yeah.
Yeah, and with R&B music, I'll share this. Like, here in South Africa, like, it's very hard for guys to really get their break with English R&B music. But when it comes to Afro pop, it does very
Yeah.
well. Gospel music is one of the highest selling genre here in South Africa. When it comes to the Nigerian market, like, how are people responding to R&B music?
Um, Funny thing is, gospel music for certain artists works very well here, but R&B
Mm.
not so much. Like the first, I didn't even really do R&B until last year. I did like an R&B EP. It was like strictly R&B last year. But before then, I was doing like a lot of Afro pop, Afro soul music. And it was people really accepted it well for me. No, a lot of people called me an R&B artist, but I wasn't really doing
Mm.
R&B. People really accepted it because I was infusing lots of Afro sounds, even my tonation, my intonations, my inflections, my lyrics. So it was something they could connect with. Um, R&B is not like it's not. It's probably one of the least listened to genres in Nigeria,
Yeah.
especially coming from Nigeria. So
Mm.
yeah, it's not easy per se.
Let's actually talk about that EP. Are you talking about the one that's called Restless 2?
Yes,
You dropped that, I
that's
think it
the
was
one.
October. You
Uh-huh.
came through with a very powerful melodic offering. You know, it was a 5-track project for those who are possibly not aware of the project, talking about several complexities that come with
Six,
love.
six
You had 6
tracks.
songs. Yes, 6 songs, my bad.
Yes.
Complexities of love and relationships. And when it comes to writing music, like, do you find it easy for you to write about love? Does love come easy, or it's still a struggle?
Actually, most of my songs are love songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just what I try to do is I try to come from different angles. You
Mm,
know, like sometimes I'm funny in my songs where I'm singing about this guy that's been stepping out, for example, and I'm saying, "Yo, if you do this again, it's over." When I come from an example, from an angle of, "I miss you. Why did you leave me?"
mm.
"Oh, I love you." Like so. I sing about love a lot. I just try to come from different angles so it doesn't sound too recycled. You
Mm.
know.
And coming through different angles, are there angles that are always challenging for you to pin down? And what are some of
No.
those angles? Or everything is free flowing?
Oh, are there? Okay, okay.
Yes.
I just heard your question. I don't know. Funny thing is, I used to write a lot of sad songs.
Yeah.
Sad songs came so easy to me. So, and I wasn't going through any heartbreak. They just came to me.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think so. I go with what I'm feeling. So I guess if I'm feeling it in that time, it's easier for me to write.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
there are artists who say, like, when I'm sad, it's hard to write sad love songs. It's hard for me to share about my sex life because, it's a very intimate moment. It's hard for me to share about there's certain things that some artists are scared of sharing, or they find it hard to share. So you've never had that experience where you have a writer's block of sharing about this
Um,
part of your love life.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the hardest song for me, the hardest song I've ever written was a song I wrote for my dad, who passed in 2014. So
Sorry.
I'd been trying to write that song for years, and eventually, the album that I put out before my EP, I sat down. I'm like, you know what? I have to do this because
Yeah.
I kind of made the song. It was like a tribute. The album was like a tribute to him, and
Mm.
so I had to sit down. I remember that I was weeping because I just didn't know what to say. But
Yeah.
besides that, I don't think I struggle as much. I don't think I struggle with lyrics in
Yeah.
that way for love songs.
And that album did very well. You're talking about Simi.
No, no, no. Almost Charlie Champagne.
Oh yeah, tell me more about that one. How did that go?
Yeah. Um, it it was that was after Simsola, and it was this album that I dropped just before I left the record label that had signed me, Extreme Music. So that was my final project with them. And it was called Almost Charlie Champagne. My dad's name was Charles, so
Mm.
his nickname was Charlie Champagne. So they used to tease me and call me Almost Charlie Champagne. So Almost is like child of,
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
Oh, my Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost Charlie Champagne. So that's what I call the album. So Almost Charlie Champagne. And the first song was a song for my dad. And it was the album itself was kind of like a departure from what I was even used to. Because I wanted people to see like a different side of me. I really enjoyed making it, and I think people enjoyed listening to it as well.
Mm. If you don't mind sharing, because one thing I've noticed is that artists, especially from West Africa, you'll have like 10 years in the game, but you probably have like 2 albums under your name, but a couple of EPs. Is it because the album culture is not big in Nigeria, or people tend to consume singles more than albums? Like, as an artist yourself, what would you say the difference is when it comes to the album culture compared to, for example, here in South Africa, where we always want artists to give us albums?
Yeah. I think the single culture definitely
Mm,
trumps the album culture sometimes. And one thing that artists probably fear is good songs going to waste. You have like a bunch of good songs on one project, and then people don't pay as much attention to the songs because you're not giving it doesn't have the same energy that a single would have, and so they would rather just put out singles, because whatever, they're making their money. And I get that. But funny thing is, I actually have quite a number of albums. I've been doing gospel for a while. I had a gospel album when I was in gospel. But I started mainstream music in 2014. So I've been in this mainstream industry for about 7 years now.
Yeah,
And I have two albums and one joint EP and another EP.
that is
So
amazing.
I mean, I think that's fair for Nigerian artists.
That is a heavy catalog, and one thing about you is that you've also had a chance to collaborate with so many artists. When it comes to
Yeah,
collaborating, like what are some of the key things you look out for before you collab with an artist?
it has to be a dope song. I think that that's the most
Yeah.
important thing. It has to be a dope song, so it has to do something for me as well. I'm not just gonna put my voice on a song just to do it. It has to be something where I know, like, if the song is somewhere that I'm not, it's speaking well for me. It's speaking on my behalf, and people are like, "Oh, that's fire."
Mm.
So I've said no to a lot of features, but like if I heard a song that I love, I'm and I just have like strong feeling that the song is gonna do well, then I will most likely do it.
And when you say you've said no to some of these songs, even big artists included, or is it always like upcoming artists?
Yeah, no, big artist.
You say
I
no,
mean,
just
I've been told no as well. I've been
yeah,
told no as well. But like, I just feel music is my career. Is something I'm
yeah,
passionate about. I don't think that decisions like that should be made out of sentiment. Like, oh, I don't want you to feel bad, so let me do it. So I would tell you, oh, I don't really like this song, or I'm just not doing features right now.
mm,
And I think when people tell me if I want to do, I don't do a lot of features, but like if I do want to do a feature and someone says no to me, I get it. Like I don't think that it has to be by force. It either works or it doesn't work. There's either chemistry or there isn't chemistry to do something to make you happy if I'm not going to be happy doing it.
yeah. And sometimes a feature comes with a totally different sound proposition. Have you ever had like an artist that came through with a totally different sound? Maybe it was very housey, upbeat, or maybe I'm a piano, drum sounds, and it was very challenging, but you enjoyed the actual sound of the song. Has that have ever happened?
I think so. I think so.
Which song was this?
I think so. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I actually like to experiment with a lot of genres.
Hmm.
Like things, I will still infuse my sound, but I like to. So for me, it's not like, oh, I'm going to go and fight. If I hear a song that I feel like I'm gonna sound weird on it, I won't do it.
Yeah.
What's the point? What's
Yeah.
the point? So even if I do a song that is like maybe like a house beat or something, I would. There's a way I can infuse myself. It's like there's this song I did with praise. It's a funny thing is when I wrote that song, it was like a ballad. But then when we put the song out, because funny, we were targeting the South African market, and so we gave like this really house feel, and it just gave it like it was just really vibey.
Mm.
So I mean, if I think I can come correct on it, I mean, I enjoy it. I'll do it. I'll do my thing.
Love it, love it. And the South African market for you, since you just mentioned that song you do with praise, like has the South African market been supportive of your career?
Until recently, not very much.
Yeah.
I always say, I wouldn't say they're not supportive. It's just, I mean, it's either it's in there or it's not. You know, I always say that I think that the South African market and the Nigerian market are the hardest markets to enter as a foreigner
Yeah.
because we love what we love. You know, we love what we love, and sometimes we're not as experimental. One of my favorite things about East Africa is that they always listen. Sometimes I think East Africa, and I'm listening to Nigerians all the time.
Yeah.
Nigeria, they don't do the same thing here, and I don't think they do the same thing as much in South Africa either. So it's usually really hard to, So I'm always like, oh, maybe this is the one. But I noticed in the past couple years, I started to get way more feedback from SA, and I love
Yeah.
it.
I think you're right when you say like South Africans are very patriotic when it comes to their music and what is truly theirs. and very
Yeah.
similar when it comes to Nigerian music, because when I was in Nigeria, it was a moment for me. Like I could not, like I can count the amount of American songs I heard. You know, you guys just pride
Yeah.
yourself in your own music. You're consistently consuming your music, but the power then comes with the collaborations because we cross pollinate. We exchange, fan
Yeah.
bases, and it's an exciting moment. Are there any South African artists that you're
Yeah.
possibly conversing with to possibly drop music with?
Nasty C. I
Ooh,
love him.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember when he came out, I was like, "Oh, I gotta do some." I
yeah.
really, really love. I love the way that South Africans love hip hop as well. You guys are so like, I really love Nasty C, and I hope that I could do a song. Actually, we're talking to him to do a song on the EP, but I think he wasn't around, and we are already we're very close to the deadline, so we had to. So it's like, maybe some other song. But I'm definitely kind of working on Nasty. See, I didn't have to think about it because
I can hear it because Nasty is also one of those artists who is able to accommodate, without also coming across like he's trying to overpower the artist. There's
yeah,
artists you listen to the music and you can generally tell like this one is trying to be the superstar. This one is also a
I
superstar. It's a battle of
know,
egos. I'm
I
like,
know,
how did that even come? Like the
I
song,
know.
can only imagine how it was finished. But have you ever performed in South Africa before?
Um, I've done recordings in South Africa, but I don't think I've actually performed like at an event. Although I didn't perform there.
Yeah.
I think I was supposed to. I don't remember, but no, I haven't performed there. But I've come to South Africa a lot, so
Mm.
because we're always recording maybe videos or coming for shoots for some company or something. So I've come
Yeah.
to SA quite a bit. Yeah.
And a country that is a highlight for you when it comes to performances. Like every time you get a booking from this country, you get excited. Like which country would you mention?
Um, I don't know. Anytime I get to go to another African country, it excites me. I mean, when I
Yeah.
went to Sierra Leone, for example, I'd never been there before, and the energy was so great. Sometimes you don't even know how much love you're getting from these countries until you get there. So it's like so exciting, and I was really excited to have people, is excited to see me that way when I went to Rwanda. So when I go to countries in Africa, other countries besides mine, and I go to perform, and the love is so full and sincere, it makes me so happy.
Yeah. And talking about being celebrated, I see at the Headies you were celebrated a songwriter of the year. Would you say that songwriters are credited enough in the continent?
It's funny you asked that because that was actually the first time that category was made available in the Headies Award.
Wow.
So to be a pioneer of that award is, I think now people are beginning to respect. There was a time when if somebody say, if you go as an artist and say, oh, this person wrote me a song, they're gonna say, oh, what kind of artist are you? But like it's actually a career. That's like in these other countries that many of us like sometimes look to, that's a big deal to be a songwriter, but I think people are beginning to see now that it's actually legit, and when there's growth, I don't want to complain.
Mm. And when it comes to DSPs and radio play, there's a lot of people that tend to say that radio's dead, digital's a new way. On your end, is do you value DSP more? Do you value radio more, or you just try and play it even?
I mean, I think as long as there's a balance, DSPs have um they've come quite a long way. Now a lot of people listen to the music for the first time on their phones, but you still see a lot of people driving, and when they're driving, they're listening to the radio.
Yeah.
When they're chilling, there's people that. So I don't think it's one over the other. I think it's knowing the balance and making sure that all the audiences on whatever end they feel catered to. You know.
Mm. And would you say like the DSPs are doing a lot to offer support to the African artists?
Yes, I think so. I definitely think so. And it's also giving some power to independent upcoming artists as well. Because I remember coming up, if you don't have access to maybe a certain kind of um money or
Yeah.
even connection, sometimes you don't get any airplay, even if you have a good song. But now you have a bigger chance. Um, and I guess even for the radio as well, it's easier for them to filter when you see that the crowd is picking good music for you. So now you don't have to do all of that work for yourself. So
Yeah.
I think as long as we can all rely on each other, and I don't think it's a war, as long as you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Burna Boy just won himself a Grammy. Everyone's excited across the continent. On
Yeah.
on your end, would you say awards still have a sentimental value for artists? Do awards matter for you, as Simi?
For me personally, I think
Yeah.
awards matter in the way that you have something to show for the work you're putting in, not necessarily to determine the value of your content. Not for me.
Yeah.
For me, as long as my fans are feeling what I'm doing and people are happy and I'm eating, and I think it's good. But like to have something to show or like to have to be acknowledged, it is a rush,
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great feeling to have that. But like I always, as much as possible, I tell people like if you don't get an award, you're still a winner in my books as long as you're making it. To be honest, so.
Yeah.
But like I was really hyped for Burna and Wiz because it's a big feat, especially for like artists in our generation, in our time.
True.
Doing a thing. I think it's amazing. I'm so happy.
Awesome stuff. We also feel like that award belongs to us as South Africans. It's for Africa,
Yeah.
but Nigeria can have the first
Yeah.
tour run. We're super excited about those awards. Shout out to Burna Boy. Shout out to his kid, and also I think Anati for the songwriting credits on that Beyonce song. But what's next for Simi? Like 2021, are you planning on dropping more music? What's the plan for you?
I'm working on my next album right now. I'm hoping to put it out later on this year. I mean, I have a baby, so I don't have as much time to work
Congrats.
as I used to. Because thank you. I mean, I used to be like a proper studio rat. I would be in the studio 12 hours straight every day. That's me. I'm like a proper
Yeah.
studio rat, but I don't have that luxury anymore. So I try to walk with the time that I have. I spend. I mean, I if I have 20 minutes now, I have to make it last three
Yeah.
hours. So now I have to be sharp about it. But like, I mean, it's worth it. So I'm just taking my time and enjoying myself.
Yeah. But you know what? Please tell all the other ladies out there to start families because you guys can do it both. Like this mindset that a woman can't, once you have a baby, it slows down your career. I think we need to throw that notion out of the window. And I think the industry needs to open up its mindset, like what Cardi B was able to achieve, had
Yeah.
culture and still was able to do videos and tour, just start your
What
family if
what
you're ready.
what I will say is that I mean, it's some people have been able to make it work, but like sometimes the industry really doesn't make it easy. I remember when I got
Mm.
pregnant, I hadn't even announced that I was pregnant, and then people were saying, like, someone called me for a show, and they were like, "Oh, she's pregnant. Why is she trying to charge her price?" They were trying to give me maybe like 60, 70% less, so
What?
sometimes exactly. And these things happen. They will tell you, oh, when you get pregnant, I don't want to work with you because when you have start your family, this is going to be hard. So it's easy if you're not going through it to feel like women are, but like there's actually a pressure. There's actually pressure. I feel like I have a luxury because I already got my break. So I had the luxury of taking a break and saying, well, I want to start my family now. But sometimes it's not easy. Some people are still trying to find their break. And, I can't really blame anyone. And besides, some people don't even actually want kids. So,
Yeah. It's just, I find it unfair and I find it a little bit sad.
yeah.
When you share, the story that promoters want to give you way less because you're now a
Way,
mom.
way.
I find it a little bit unfair. Like
Yeah.
if you're still going to be delivering the same amount of energy and show value, why must my rates change now that I'm a mom?
I wasn't even a mom. I wasn't even like my baby wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
I was pregnant and I wasn't even like heavy, heavy. It's so weird. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like why they kind just continue to recycle this energy for women. And when you talk as a woman, they say you're complaining or so and so. But the thing is, we say these things because we feel these things. We're going through these things. And some people are lucky enough, like me. Some people are lucky enough to be able to do what they love and fight and get through. But some people fight and they do not get through. They don't have anything to show for it. It gets frustrating.
Look, before I let you go, Simi, let me ask you this: like, what are some of the stereotypes or mindsets you just hope that men will stop having when it comes to women? Because I think as someone in the highest level of music right now as yourself, your voice has
Yeah.
power. Like, what are some of the things you wish men can stop doing?
I mean, to start with, like, I think that uh, men or the industry at large actually
Yeah.
needs to stop telling women that they need to sell their music with their bodies. If I decide to play sexy or put it out there, let it be me deciding, not the pressure of thinking, oh, I'm not gonna find any success unless I do this. Because then it's almost like you're saying a woman's talent is not important, you
Mm.
know. And also, like, when you see a woman that deserves something, speak up for her, fight for her. She deserves to have that spot. Let her have that spot. Don't say, oh, she's a woman. Don't assume that women are difficult. Don't assume that women are aggressive. We just also want to win. That's all. We just want to win. We just want to eat and feed our own and feed ourselves and buy nice clothes.
And nice cars and nice houses and travel,
And nice,
you know?
exactly. And travel, everything. We just want nice things. That's
Yeah.
all.
Look, it was so great to meet you, Simi. You're an amazing
Thank,
soul.
thank you so much.
Just listening to the music and just also to be a chance to pick your brain was absolutely amazing. And when you're in South Africa, come through.
Yes.
I'll introduce you to South African jollof rice. Eh,
Ooh, okay.
I'll create it. I'll create it. But I want to
Okay,
ask
so
you
I
the
look forward to that.
I want to ask you the famous question: which one is better, Ghanaian jollof rice or Nigerian jollof rice? But if you want to
Oh,
answer
always
it, you can.
Nigerian.
Oh, it's always Nigerian.
Always Nigerian. Always
Okay.
Nigerian. Always.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And when the album
Thank
drops,
you
we'll
for having
definitely
me.
be here to support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.